A huge
You walk
development
around
just
this building,
unfolded in Indianapolis, and Fever fans are going to want
everyone is
every
so
detail.
supportive and
The
so
Indiana Fever
excited
front office
about
has been
what is
operating at an
happening with the
incredible
Fever.
pace, securing a wave of signings that have already reshaped expectations for the 2026 WNBA season before it even tips off. This is not speculation or rumor. The general manager has confirmed it, and what is being assembled around Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston could become the most dangerous roster in franchise history. But before diving into the major moves, it is important to remember how close Indiana came to everything unraveling last season. That context makes what is happening now even more remarkable. Think back to the 2025 WNBA season when Caitlin Clark, the most talked-about figure in women's basketball, appeared in only 13 games after a groin injury disrupted what was expected to be a championship push. 13 games. The entire city of Indianapolis held its breath. Analysts, commentators, and media voices all repeated the same conclusion. The Fever were finished. Count them out. Yet something unexpected happened. Indiana's remaining roster, fueled by determination, resilience, and belief, fought its way into the playoffs, eliminated the Atlanta Dream in the opening round, and pushed the defending powerhouse Las Vegas Aces to a decisive Game 5 in the semifinals. A winner-take-all showdown. The Aces eventually prevailed in overtime, 107-98, but the statement Indiana delivered echoed across the league. This team, battered and incomplete, was still dangerous. Now imagine that same squad fully strengthened. That improbable postseason run did more than build momentum. It gave the front office a clear directive. General Manager Amber Cox and the organization entered the offseason with a single objective. Do not rebuild. Reload. And the first major domino to fall was the biggest one available. Kelsey Mitchell, three-time WNBA All-Star, first-team All-WNBA selection, and the player who averaged a franchise record 20.2 points per game in 2025. While Clark watched from the sideline in street clothes, Mitchell became the driving force that kept Indiana competitive throughout the season, and the Fever made it clear to the entire league that she was not leaving. The organization placed a core qualifying offer on her, a label reserved for the franchise's most vital player, and once the signing window opened on April 11th, the deal was finalized almost immediately. Mitchell agreed to a one-year Supermax contract worth $1.4 million, making her the highest-paid player in Indiana Fever history. To put that into perspective, the new WNBA collective bargaining agreement raised the salary cap to $7 million, and the Supermax represents 20% of that total, meaning Mitchell secured the full amount available. When General Manager Amber Cox confirmed the agreement, her message was direct and unmistakable. Mitchell has been a cornerstone of the franchise for nearly a decade, and retaining her stood as the organization's top objective. Any lingering doubts disappeared earlier when Caitlin Clark stated on national television during an NBC broadcast that re-signing Mitchell was not just a priority, but the priority. That level of alignment is the type of unity championship teams rely on. Yet Indiana was far from finished. The moment Mitchell's deal was completed, attention shifted to the next move. Lexi Hull, the 26-year-old guard who has become a fan favorite in Indiana, was set to return. Hull entered free agency as restricted, allowing the Fever to match any competing offer, but there was little suspense surrounding her future. She had already purchased a home in Indianapolis, introduced a beauty brand days before free agency began, and prepared for her upcoming wedding, all signs that her connection to the city remained strong. When the signing window opened Saturday morning, Hull made the announcement in memorable fashion. She joined Caitlin Clark in Augusta, Georgia at the Masters Golf Tournament, and posted a TikTok confirming her return. The moment felt authentic, fun, and reflective of the chemistry that defines the roster. Hull averaged 7.2 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.8 assists last season while shooting 36.7% from beyond the arc, but her impact stretched far beyond statistics. She brought defensive energy, relentless effort, and leadership in the locker room, starting 30 games and increasing her minutes from under 20 to 27 per night during her first full season under head coach Stephanie White. Team leadership emphasized that Hull embodies the heart of the franchise, and her playoff contributions reinforced that belief. Fans celebrated the news, the organization celebrated, and Clark, still in Augusta, sparked another wave of excitement. In the comments of Hull's TikTok, Clark tagged Sophie Cunningham and wrote 4 simple words: "Hey, what's up, wide?" instantly igniting conversation across the WNBA community. Those words mattered because Indiana fans recognize the nickname Trace Letches, the trio of Clark, Hull, and Cunningham that developed into one of the league's most entertaining combinations. Clark's playful comments signaled her interest in bringing Cunningham back and highlighted how she is helping shape the roster. Indiana's offseason is not just being guided by executives. The franchise star is influencing the direction as well, and Clark reportedly. Caitlin Clark was among the first to push internally for Kelsey Mitchell to be the top priority, and that stance only reinforced how aligned this organization has become. Clark has been seen alongside Lexi Hull in Augusta, actively engaging with Sophie Cunningham on social media, and increasingly she looks like more than just the face of the franchise. She's becoming a voice shaping its direction. That level of buy-in from your best player is exactly how championship dynasties are built. While the Clark-Cunningham storyline continues to generate attention, the Fever front office did not wait for things to play out. They moved quickly to add veteran forward Monique Billings, addressing one of their biggest frontcourt needs. Billings, an 8-year WNBA veteran and former 15th overall pick by the Atlanta Dream in 2018, became Indiana's first unrestricted free agent signing of the offseason. After a stint with the Golden State Valkyries following the expansion draft, she delivered steady production across 26 games, averaging 7.3 points and 4.5 rebounds while shooting nearly 48% from the field. Her ability to operate at both power forward and center gives head coach Stephanie White the lineup versatility that was missing last season. Even more importantly, Billings arrives with built-in chemistry. She played alongside Kelsey Mitchell in Unrivaled during the offseason and shared the court with Caitlin Clark at the FIBA qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico. That familiarity made Indiana an easy fit. When Billings explained her decision, she pointed to vision, culture, and fit, and specifically highlighted her excitement to play with Clark. With that shared experience already in place, the transition should be seamless, while Aliyah Boston now gains a proven frontcourt partner. A major weakness from last season has effectively been solved. Still, Indiana kept moving. The issue of backcourt depth, who backs up Clark and stabilizes the offense during rest or injury, had lingered since last year. The constant churn of short-term hardship contracts in 2025 made consistency nearly impossible. The Fever needed a reliable, experienced guard, and they found that solution in Tyasha Harris, the Indianapolis native. Harris returns home after stops with the Dallas Wings and Connecticut Sun, where she also played under Stephanie White, giving her immediate trust and system familiarity. A composed floor general who doesn't require high usage, she brings structure, control, and stability to a second unit that desperately needed it. ESPN's Alexa Philippou confirmed the deal, with an official announcement expected soon. Piece by piece, the roster is taking shape, and when you zoom out, the picture becomes striking. Caitlin Clark returns fully healthy after a limited 2025 campaign. Aliyah Boston, the 2023 Rookie of the Year, anchors the paint and is now positioned for a long-term extension under the league's updated financial structure. Kelsey Mitchell remains the primary scoring engine on a Supermax deal after a franchise-best 20.2 points per game season. Lexi Hull provides defense, energy, and continuity on a multi-year contract. Monique Billings adds frontcourt balance. Tyasha Harris strengthens the bench. And young pieces like Michaela Timpson continue developing. Financially, Indiana is in a rare position of flexibility. The core contracts account for only a small portion of the $7 million salary cap, leaving significant room for additional moves through free agency and the draft. With the number 10 pick, Indiana remains active in scouting targets such as Raven Johnson and Gianna Neepkins, both capable of adding immediate depth depending on how the roster evolves. Training camp opens April 19th, with the season tipping off May 9th against the Dallas Wings. Across the league, debate continues over whether Indiana should stay the course or make even bigger swings. Some argue Boston still needs a more dominant frontcourt partner, while others believe the current guard-heavy structure is already strong enough to contend. The fact remains, Indiana reached the semifinals without a healthy Clark. With her fully integrated, the ceiling rises significantly. The Minnesota Lynx enter as early favorites, with the Las Vegas Aces and New York Liberty still firmly in contention. Indiana sits just behind them in the championship picture, but that could shift quickly depending on final roster moves. One of the biggest remaining storylines is Sophie Cunningham's free agency. Clark has publicly and playfully hinted at wanting her back, and Cunningham's connection to the fan base and the Tres Leches identity makes her a natural fit. But she remains unrestricted, and competing offers will test Indiana's financial limits. If Cunningham returns, Indiana's identity sharpens even further. If she doesn't, the Fever must replace that toughness and shooting elsewhere. Either way, Amber Cox's front office approach has been deliberate and structured. Mitchell first to anchor scoring, Hull to secure culture, Billings to fix the frontcourt, Harris to stabilize depth, each move layered with intent rather than impulse. That alignment between leadership, coaching, and superstar is what turns a rising team into a real contender. And beyond basketball, Indiana's surge is already reshaping the league's visibility, driving record crowds, record ratings, and unprecedented national attention. With Clark healthy and a deeper supporting cast around her than ever before, the 2026 season is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated in WNBA history, with Indiana at the center of it all.